Hi, so in this video I want to go through some ideas that were raised in the presentation last week with Brian Silverman and Mitch and Alan Kay. Alan Kay used the word threshold a lot. Well, he was waving his arms around. And there are two meanings of threshold. The original meaning is this part of an entryway, right? You carry the bride across the threshold. This is the threshold, and so Alan presented it as being something sort of scary and high that you had to attain, but the original meaning is just an entry, the base of an entryway where you enter into a space. And I think that's the way Seymour Papert viewed it primarily, and I would guess that the way Mitch Resnick and Brian view it, given their description of how they wanted to make Scratch wide and accessible instead of tall and powerful. And I think Papert understood that this was that what things like Lego and Logo and Scratch do is they provide a playground. I mean, nothing original there. That's accessible. That's easy. That we can go in and fool around in, right? That we can just grab parts and mess around and see what we build. And in doing that, with guidance, of course, some guidance, we learn and we grow. And I think it's important to remember that we are on a journey, right? We're not all at a certain place. So these playgrounds are more appropriate at certain stages than at others. And that's fine. That's, we're not all 50, 60-year-old philosophers or computer scientists. Kids are different than adults, and that we should celebrate that. And I think Papert did celebrate that. And these accessible worlds that came out of his work are, I think they're really important worlds to have available for kids. Actually, because we create these worlds at different levels, but these worlds where we can manipulate the entities that we're integrating at any given level are really important. And in some ways what happens, I think, is that when after we've become comfortable in a world, we abstract it. And this is, in some ways, this is the reality of Alan Kay. But it's the reality of all of us, right? Just this mass of neurons that are firing all the time, that are us, but we don't deal with that. We deal with the abstraction. And when we've learned, sort of figured out the abstraction, how to take that mass of interesting details, then we're ready to move on. And I think that's the sense that Alan Kay was using threshold. It's this new platform that we have to climb up to and master sort of the material that's necessary to climb up there in order to move on to whatever. And I think he's right about that. But it doesn't. It's it's a journey. It's not, and each stage of the journey has its own joys and pleasures and shouldn't be rushed. And when you are ready for that next threshold, you will find, in general, if you've had lots of time to play and explore and integrate, that it's not a big deal. You just step over the threshold into the next exciting new space. That's all. Thanks.